Page 92, Ain't Misbehavin. It's another piece toward the end of the book that gives you a chance to improvise. They're giving you basic chords, some of the notes and basic rhythms and things, but it's up to you to improvise. You can improvise a different accompaniment, you can improvise with a melody, you can do all kinds of things. However, before you try any of your own creativity, it's really important to learn it the way it's written first, so you kind of get to know the piece pretty well. Then you can start experimenting. So let's go over how it's written first. I have a few suggestions here. It's not real pianistic music, but then you're expected to improvise, so you turn it into pianistic music. As in the style of the piece, the music, I'm going to swing the eighth notes. So at the beginning in the right hand, it's this way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1. Hopefully you can get the rhythm okay, because it's fairly repetitious throughout it. Watch their fingering. Their fingering is fine in the right hand. It's okay. Just go with it. The left hand, I got some suggestions in the left hand. At the beginning, it's just the C chord. 5-3-1 is fine. Now, second measure, they're showing a 5-3. That's okay for the eighth note, but for the first chord, if you want, you could play that 4-2, because you're coming off of this chord from the previous measure, and you could go if you want, and then 5-3 for the eighth note, or you can use their fingering too. Third measure, 3-1, but for the half note I recommend a 4-2. You can go from here to here without too much trouble, so that's what I recommend. And then in the last measure, the first line, a 3-1, and then the last note in the first line is a 3-2. Going on to the next line, a 3-1, and then a 4-1, and then 5-3. You work out a fingering that's comfortable for you, but I'm recommending this one. It works out pretty well. This pattern occurs other places, so just use the same fingering each time. I don't want to have to point them all out, but they're there. You'll find them. Just go over to page 93 on the second line. First measure's fine. Second measure's fine. Now for the third measure, you can use 3-1 on the first one, but then I recommend a 5-2 for the others. And then a 4-1 for the next measure. That's actually about it for the fingering on the left hand, because these other places here, I've already suggested fingerings for those. So now it's a matter of putting the hands together. Let's look at this first measure. Beat 1 is the left hand, and then right hand comes in on the end of 1. But then left hand has a dotted rhythm. So the eighth note in the left hand is going to be played with an eighth note in the right hand. So it's here. So they're together. So work out the rhythm very, very carefully. Let's go over it very slowly. I don't know how well you're getting the rhythm. If you're getting the rhythm, then you're going to be bored for a bit. I'm going to cover this rather carefully. Really, really, really slowly. And let's just play even eighth notes for a bit. So it's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and On page 93 is not so bad in the second line, because the left hand has all quarter notes, just because it's keeping a beat for you. The fermatas in the last measure I'm going to hold for 4 counts each. The phone. Hold 2, hold 2. Oh yeah. Now, pedal-wise, it's pretty simple. You just got a little bit of legato pedal over on page 93 on the 3rd line and at the end, the last measure. Don't see any point in showing that. I'm sure you can do that. It's for contrast, because this piece is kind of a bouncy piece, but that 3rd line there, the first 2 measures of the 3rd line on page 93, that's legato. It's contrast. It's different than the bouncy stuff. So yeah, use the pedal, but only use it for that part. Don't use the pedal for this other stuff. Let's try this together very, very, very slowly and just check notes and rhythms and things. So put your right hand here, left hand, foot's on the pedal. Have it there, it's ready to go, so it's when you need it, it's there. I'll give us 4 counts. It's a 4/4 time. 1, 2, and ready and go. And 2, 2, hold